Shalom. This is Brother Yamir, and I'm with Israelite Saints of Christ. And the topic today I'm going to talk about is, does color matter in the Bible? You know, when I was coming up years ago, when I was diving into religion and trying to find out who I am and all this type of stuff, I always heard that the Bible is a white man's book. Everybody in it is white. A white man had it authorized or wrote it. So from that, on top of that, they said the man who had it authorized or wrote it was a white homosexual. So me being the man I am, I'm like, I'm not reading that book. Not about no homosexual, all white folk in it. You know, all the prophets are white. When you watch TV, you watch all the biblical movies, Ten Commandments, Exodus, all the people in the movies is white. Even the Africans is white. I'm like, I don't want to read that. For what? What is it going to do for me? I need to know how to walk in my skin. That's telling them how to walk in their skin. So I saw otherwise. And I found out a few things. Started studying, picked up the book and read it for myself. Does color matter in the Bible? Let's see. Let's find out. King James. Now, when you Google King James, this what comes up. A white image of King James. So I'm like, man, they was right. A white dude did write this book. Now I was told later on down the road, you know, King James was a black man. Ruled over 3 nations at one time. He said, type in the real King James. So I went to Google and I typed in the real King James. And this is what came up. I'm like, whoa. Dude look like Uncle Charles or somebody. Hold on. It's King James. Then I saw that book right there that you see from Cambridge. It says Cambridge Studies in Early Modern British History. Because King James established Great Britain. So I'm like, he ruled during the Dark Ages. That's why they call it Dark Ages. That's why they say that history can't be determined. Because we ruled during the Dark Ages. But I saw this book. I'm like, Cambridge Studies in Early Modern British History. Now, Cambridge University is a prestigious college. So it's like, I'm like, and they majority white folk. That's not a black university. That's majority white folk go to that school. So if they did a study on King James and made a book and put it out with King James being a black man, I don't think they will put their reputation on the line for something that ain't true. So it made me start thinking like, King James is a so-called black man. The man who authorized the Bible. He had 47 Hebrew and Greek scholars authorized, had it translated from the Hebrew and Greek into the English. He didn't write it. The Bible was written by the holy prophets. I said, hold on. Okay, if they lying about that, let's see what else they lying about. This was prophesied in the Bible to actually happen. Let's go to it. Let's go to in the Holy Bible, the King James Bible, the book of Maccabees, which is in the Apocrypha. Those 14 books that was taken out the Bible by the Roman Catholic Church. There's 80 books. There's now 66. You wonder why this book that has the Apocrypha in it, I don't know if you can see that has the Apocrypha in it, all 80 books. Those are the books that you see right there in the middle. Said the Apocrypha. So let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. They took that out of the book so you couldn't get the whole story. So let's see what it says. Why they took it out of the book. I'm in 2nd Maccabees. Need to go to 1st. 1st Maccabees 3 and 48. It says, and laid open the book of the law. This is the book of the law, according to Joshua 1 and 8, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. Looks like they took King James here and painted the likeness of their image. Because he don't look like him. Well, half truth is still a lie. What they trying to hide if that's the truth. Read it again. 1st Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen, talking about the other nations, particularly the white man, because that's who you see portraying all the images, has sought to paint the likeness of their images. Made me think. He did the same thing with Christ. He did the same thing with Christ, with King James. Let's see. Because whenever you talk about God or the Most High or anything dealing with, most of the time, religion, you go to the Bible to get the answer. So let's see if this is a lie. If Christ is a black man, because most of the time you see this guy up in churches all over the world. So you know when you was in school, you did a compare and contrast. That's what we're about to do right now. A compare and contrast. Very easy to do. Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 14. It says, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. Let's see. Blonde hair, white hair. It's white as snow. Yellow as blonde. So that means Christ had a full head and beard full of gray hair. You say, how was his hair gray at 33? They were trying to kill him at 33. You had people coming from all around the world trying to be healed. It was a stressful thing. And you know, when you get stressed, you get gray hairs. I got some myself. So it says, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes was as a flame of fire. Blue eyes, blonde hair. White hair, red eyes, like a flame of fire. Strike 2 on this guy right here. Because his hair is not white like wool, and he don't got red eyes like a flame of fire. Something ain't right. So you probably will ask, why does Christ have red eyes? The Bible explains itself. You're supposed to read the Bible precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, according to Isaiah 28, 9 and 10. That's how you read the Bible. Let's go to Genesis 49 and verse 12 to see why Christ's eyes were red. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine. Christ drunk wine. He didn't get drunk because that was the sin. He walked perfect, remember? His eyes shall be red with wine. You know when you drink wine, the pupils of your eyes, the whites, turn red. So, let's see. Blonde hair, blue eyes. White hair, red eyes. 2 strikes on this guy over here. 2 strikes. So let's go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs was white like wool, it's white as snow, and his eyes was a flame of fire, because he drunk wine. What was Jesus' first miracle? Changed water into what? Wine. Exactly. Verse 15. And his feet. Now your feet, your hands, your face, your arms, your legs, all the same color, right? So he said, and his feet like unto fine brass. Now, fine brass is just like this picture I have up here. That's fine brass right there. That's brown. That looks brown to me. This guy down here doesn't look brown. But this guy doesn't either. So let's keep reading. Let's see. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. If you burn white rice, it turns black. If you burn toast, it turns black. You burn anything, it turns black. So it says, and his feet like unto fine brass, up here, fine brass, as if it burned in a furnace. That's burnished brass right there. Got a little darker. This kind of looks like this guy over here. Strike 3 for this devil right here. Devil just means deceiver. Because this is the deceiving thing right here. If the Bible says this, Christ looks like this, and you deceive the world so he looks like this, I got the right to call you the devil, because devil means deceiver. Let's keep reading. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Now, when you go to the ocean or to the beach, when those waves are coming in, is that quiet? Or is they loud when they come in? Black people speak what? Loud. So far, King James been proven to be black, not just by me, by Cambridge University and the Bible. Christ is a so-called black man from comparing and contrasting. So that's making me think now, who else is black in this Bible? Let's see. Caesar Borgia. Let me tell you who he is first. Caesar Bo. His family, this is how that image became so-called whitewashed. Now, whitewashing happened during the Renaissance period. It's called iconoclasm. Do some research on that. Look it up. It said his family paid Leonardo da Vinci to paint him the image of Christ. He was an homosexual, slept with his sister Lucretia, and was a murderer. This is an actual guy. His name is Caesar Borgia. They have a Netflix series on Netflix. You can see this for yourself. It's out there. Just don't believe what you've been hearing. So-called blacks, Hispanics of Negroid and Indian descent. This is for you. Real guy. Check him out. Look him up. This is not Christ. Let's see about some of the prophets in the Bible, because they was all black too. Let's start with the famous king, King Solomon. King Solomon. It's called the Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon. Chapter 1 and verse 5. Song of Solomon says, chapter 1 and verse 5, I am black, but comely. So King Solomon said, I am black, but comely. If you look down here, comely means beautiful, basically. Pleasant to look at, attractive. You ever heard the term black and beautiful? King James a black man, Christ a black man, King Solomon a black man. Hold on. Let's see who else. The prophet Job. Let's go to Job. Chapter 30 and verse 30. It says, my skin is black upon me. It's not no white man book. Man who had an authorized so-called black man. Christ is so-called black man. King Solomon, a so-called black man. Prophet Job, a so-called black man. But they hiding. They don't want me to know that they told me everybody white, but everybody black. There must be something in this book they don't want me to know. The Jews. Normally when you hear something about the Jews, you think of the so-called white man. Right down here. This Jewish guy that had them little 4 things hanging from his head, had these little tassels hanging from their clothes. The Jewish people, you know, you put ish on the back of a word means something like or pertaining to, meaning not the real thing. Like, I'm gonna be at your house about 5-ish. You don't know when I'm coming. Between 5, might be there 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, something like the real thing. That's why they're called Jewish. Let's see what the Bible says about the real Jews. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. It says, Judah mourneth. Judah is the top tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. The word Jew comes from Judah. It says Judah mourning. We're the only people out here mourning. And the gates thereof languish. When you put up a gate around something, it's for protection. Our protection and our leadership is gone. You got Jesse Jackson, Messy Jesse. He ain't doing nothing for us. You got Al Dullness, because he ain't sharp about nothing. Start it again. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Huh? So the Jews are black. So who's them people over there in Israel right now? Let's see what the Bible says. The book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, talking about the Israelites, because we're the only people that's in poverty right now as a nation, all over the world. We're in the worst parts of the city, all over the world. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Why are we rich? Because we are the chosen seed. God has chosen us and none else. That's going to be another topic. And I know the blasphemy. Blasphemy means lies of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Let me read that again. The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. He ain't just said it there, he said it twice. Revelations 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Most High calls those Jews Satan. Satan means adversary of God. Against God. So they're doing everything contrary to what God says. So when we call people the devil, you're not calling them this little cartoon character with the pitchfork and the long tail and the red looking devil thing. They're actually deceivers. Devil means deceiver. Satan means adversary of God. Go back to Jeremiah 14 and 2. It says the Jews are black. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Unto the ground. Anytime you go outside and you look at the dirt, it looks brown to me. As you go deeper, it gets darker and darker. Which brings me to the first man, Adam. What color was Adam? Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. Because we all come from Adam, right? The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord God formed man, which is Adam, of the dust of the ground. The dust of the ground is the dirt. What color is the dirt? Brown. Again, as you go deeper and deeper, it gets darker and darker. So, King James was a so-called black man. King Solomon is a so-called black man. The Jews are black. I got a primary source to prove that the Jews are black. From Babylon to Timbuktu. Let's read a little excerpt in there to see what color the Jews are. This is Babylon, from Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph Windsor. Let's go to page, let me see, page 84. It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. He's saying the Jews are black too. And this is primary source. Again, the Bible in 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, prove all things. The word nigger. Did you know that was in the Bible too? It started off as Niger, then changed to nigger. Now today we, my nigger. Let's read what it says right here. Niger or nigger. In the present day English language, the word nigger is a racial slur, usually directed at black people. The word originated as a neutral term referring to people with black skin, as a variation of the Spanish and Portuguese noun negro, a descendant of the Latin adjective niger or nigger, meaning the color black. Let's go to the book of Acts. Book of Acts 13:1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. What? So this ain't nothing new. They've been doing it. This means black. That's still a byword in the proverb, just like they call us African American. How can you be from two continents? I mean, before that, we was Afro-American. That's a hairstyle. Why do they keep giving us all these different names? Who are we really? We are the children of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the people of the book. Paul and Moses, they black too? Oh, let's prove it. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 20. 21 and verse 38. Let's start at 37. Let's see with Paul. Because they mistaken Paul and Moses for Egyptians. Egyptians are black, ain't they? Let's see. Book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou the Egyptian? Which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers. But Paul says, I am a man which am a Jew. This showed you in Jeremiah 14 and 2, the Jews was black. We just read from Babylon to Timbuktu that the Jews was black. And Paul said he was a Jew. Paul's a so-called black man. Moses, oh, let's prove that too. Book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 19. It says, and they said, you know, the book of Exodus is the second book of Moses. Moses wrote Exodus. So it says in verse 19, and they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. They was calling Moses an Egyptian too. Egyptians was known to be black. And he told Pharaoh, let my people go. How did he blend in if Pharaoh and them was black? And if he was white when he was a baby, don't add up. King James, a so-called black man. The Jews are so-called black. King Solomon, the prophet Job, Paul, Moses, the Jews, Christ, the Most High, according to Daniel 10. Oh, they compared Israel to Ethiopians too. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 7. Let's see. The book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 7. Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? Saith the Lord, have not I brought Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Palestines from Caphtor, and the Assyrians from Kir? Read that from the beginning. The book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 7. Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? Ethiopians were black. He said the children of Israel was like unto the Ethiopians. So is this a white man book? Doesn't look like it so far. So for the people who say that this is a white man book, they probably ain't read the book yet or picked it up. They just going off what people have said. They're regurgitating what somebody else have told them. Remember, because we wasn't able to read during slavery. That's why black people don't like to read now. That was like the #1 thing we couldn't do, read. They read, if we was to read, they would rape us, sell us, feed us to the alligators, dash our babies' heads up against the stones, tie a man to some horses, separate directions, pull them apart. Just if we read, what didn't you want us to read that was that important that you would have to do all that? Our history book, the Holy Bible, is only for the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why it always says, speak to the children of Israel. It don't say speak to every nation in the world. No, talking to one particular people. If a white man wrote the book, why would he make Christ or describe Christ as a black man? And all the prophets in the book. That don't make sense. And last, in the book of Obadiah, the so-called white man in the Bible is called Esau or Edom or Edomite. He's wasted away. Why in the book of Obadiah would he destroy the whole nation? of people. If the white man wrote a book, why would he destroy his own nation in the book? That don't make sense. It's time to wake up, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, of Negroid and any descent. You are the children of Israel. It's time to learn your true heritage, Sirach 17 and 11, and come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. The laws are not done away with. That's the only way you'll be free, is keeping these laws. This Bible is only for us. It's our history book. It matches up with history perfectly. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. You got to obey God any day rather than men. Man told you it was a white man book, but I just proved to you it's not. Man told you to celebrate Christmas. Don't say to do that in the book. Man tells you to do a whole lot of things. We need to obey God's commandments. That's how you become free. That's how you become perfect. That's how you get out of all these ways. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.